Hello, everyone. This is Hounding Humans Studio, and we are here with our great voice actors and actress for Who Are You? We just got Who Are You release on March 27, and also there was the premiere for Disclosure Day just a few days ago. So there's a lot of aliens around us. So this is just a special situation for us. So while we work on episode two, we are giving voice to our voice actresses and actors to actually talk a little bit about themselves, so you can get to know them. So if you want to start, we have here our greatest Amanda Roswell, and that will be Pony. Hello, Pony.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
Do you want to talk about yourself just a little? Just
Oh,
introduce yourself.
yes. I'm a Twitch streamer. I love games. I love horror games. So I was especially excited that Who Are You wanted to work with me. So that was really neat. I've never voice acted before. This is my very first project, and we're just kind of like, I mean, at least for me, I'm just kind of like learning as I go. But I hope that we can make something cool to, to for you guys to enjoy.
Perfect. Thank you, Pony. And we have our great Mattie Roswell. That's Amy. Amy, hello.
Hello, thank you for having me. And it's nice hanging out with everyone today. I'm Amy, and I'm also Pony's sister, who was speaking before me, and a Twitch streamer. We shared a channel back in the day, way, way back in the day. And we love playing games and supporting indie development. We are huge horror people. So she is a horror artist, and she has done work with the amazing Ken Foree. I've also done writing as well, and I work with a lot of comic book creators and a lot of horror creators. And you can find more about us online. How we found out about Who Are You is from the incredible Mei Xing, who does a lot of just like cohorts of just support when it comes to game development. And then we were introduced to Diego, and from there, everything just started rolling. And I'm just really happy to be here.
Thank you for that. And yes, we how this happened and how our connection happened was just because of one of the Machines projects, and that's how we found each other. That's how uh, this magic happened, and we have them right now. And that's how Amy got on board. Amy got brought Pony, and also brought our amazing Neon. That's Ray Roswell, and the one that we have here right now. Neon, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you, Diego?
No, great.
Hi, I'm Steve. I also go by Neon Daddy. I'm also a streamer. I've been doing this for a while. I've never actually been interviewed before, so I'm going to be awkward. And I heard about the voice acting position through Pony, and Pony and I have been friends through Twitch for quite a few years. And she asked me, and I said, "Oh, yeah, that sounds good to me." And it's technically my second time voice acting. The first time was just a little small little part in a different indie game, but I'm learning as well, like Pony.
That's what's great, I think, about the whole project and about this meeting that we all had, right? I think that's it's amazing the way you shine because people see how you shine through your characters, and that's really great. That's really awesome to see as well. Yeah.
Thanks,
Those are nice
Diego.
words.
You're the man.
Don't worry. Um, and speaking of which, we talk a lot while creating the script, right? We had a lot of back and forth for everyone to know, or humans hearing this. When we create the script, we actually go over it and we check if how they feel about the writing, because of course, for us, Hounding Human Studio is from Argentina. Their English is not our first language. Also, most of the situations happen in the US. That's why we have them, because they have the language and they have the culture, right? So the idea is to do that background and that review for everyone to see that. So we go back and forth and we hear about the situations and how they work with the script themselves. So that will be our next question here, and for you, Pony. Were there any scenes or lines that emotionally affected you while recording?
I mean, yeah, like there were a couple. Have been a couple like really emotionally intense scenes. And one of them, it was how much should I censor? Like as far as spoilers, like is it okay if I'm like
No,
a little bit
okay.
spoiler? Okay.
Yeah, don't
Um,
worry.
so definitely when Ray Neon when we were having our marital spat,
Yeah.
the really bad one,
Yeah.
um before before I get abducted. Supposedly, allegedly, maybe, who knows? Um yeah, that was intense. It was like I think it was like 6 hours that we did that table read, and I needed like 2 days to recover from that. It felt like an actual real like harrowing fight with my husband. It was just like I felt like Amanda in that situation. It was not fun. But I
Right.
hope that it came through in the performance. Uh
We spent a lot of time.
yeah,
on
and
that.
it was kind of like it was rough because arguing with my in-game husband, that was really like that was like super trauma. But it was also um Amanda was not in a great headspace, and she was going through her own mental stuff, and that also like that also really affected me. um I think that main fight, that main scene, I would say that one.
When I heard that you spent like 6 hours doing the whole scene, I was like, "Whoa, that's rough," because it is a rough scene.
It
Totally.
was a hard scene, but I'm glad that you liked it. We're trying, or I'm trying to get better as an actress.
Yeah, you're doing great. Thank you, Pony. Amy, what about you?
Ooh, piggybacking off of that, it was just the way Pony just like played Amanda was evocative, raw, and just my heart was just stirring with just emotions
My
listening to
sister
her
gassed
and
me
the
up. Thanks.
raspiness of her voice and just
Oh,
how much she was
Amy.
screaming.
Okay.
But to answer your question,
I
were
gotta
there
also
any
chime in. I'm so sorry to talk
emotional?
over you,
No,
but
you're good. You're good. You're
Amy,
good.
you too. You were like, m- my sister plays my daughter, and she is so freaking, yeah, I know, huh? And
Creepy. I'm
as
creepy.
you played such a creepy little girl.
Right on.
You're a little bit too good at that.
It takes us back from when our childhood,
Hmm.
because I'm the older sibling, that I
Yeah,
would just tease her and scare my little sister.
actually
And
love that.
yeah, I was such a bully when we were kids.
I was a brat
Funny.
too, so eh,
So we had that dynamic
we
going
did.
on.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So I had to carry the spirit of Mattie, of us being younger and bringing her back in the game, of just being that like annoying character that's like trying to scare the players. But it's different playing the younger Mattie and the adult Mattie. Whereas the adult Mattie, I feel like she's a lot more scarred, and there's these visceral wounds all over her, and it's everywhere, like in her heart and her body and her mind. And when she leaves those tapes behind for her father, it's she's slurring, she's not lucid, her brain's not right, she can't remember everything in the past that happened, but the darkness she really remembers, and then she's just trying to forget it. So she's just slurring her words, she's trying to get through life, she's trying to have her dad back, but at the same time she knows what she lost, and it's just she can't be present in her mind. So the way that I try to evoke this feeling with Mattie is that she wasn't really all there when she's recording these tapes, and she's just going down this hellish descent. Yeah. For Mattie.
Yeah.
I think that definitely came through in your performance.
Thank you. I tried, but I feel like I just want to keep getting better. So just like hearing everybody's comments and then reading their comments on YouTube, everything, like we only want to get better. Initially, what we were drawn to this project through is just like, oh, it may be like a Resident Evil campiness. But
Mhm.
then this project grew so much and then just so much darker that the voice acting that we initially have can't translate to
Yes.
the iteration that it is now. So now it's a lot more darker and we have to portray it darker.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and our idea when we first started also with Haunting Humans and with Who Are You, we didn't thought that it will grow as much. We didn't thought that we will get the UFO researchers, that we will have people sharing their yeah, situations, sharing situations about depression. Because we also have that within the game to explain different feelings and to explain how Ray Roswell feels and all of that. So it was a surprise for us, and that's why for people to know that as we grew and as we changed the project, for people who knew the first project, you will see that's much different right now, and you will know that everyone been doing just a great work, just redoing the lines. There's been a lot of work within the past months, even year, because this started like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, actually. Um, and the work that everyone was doing, just redoing the lines, trying to make things better. It's amazing. And we are very thankful for that to all of you. And Neon as well, because you are Ray Roswell. You are the one that had a lot of lines being recorded, and there's
Yes, sir.
much more coming. So yeah.
Yeah. It was well, the first VA project that I was in, that I mentioned, it was kind of like a sillier, kind of non-serious game. So this is like the first like dramatic role. It's incredibly difficult. It's so hard. So I'm trying to learn as well. And the scene that Pony brought up was, I think, the hardest one. And I too had to take literally 2 days to recover from that one, because I felt it felt bad, because we had to like kind of put ourselves into these people and pretend that it's real. And
Oh, the physicality of it
Yes.
all. I
Yeah.
Yeah, my body
remember.
does not know the difference if I'm like having an intense fight for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
So I
And a
feel
lot of
that.
it was improv, so it was just
Mhm.
like in the moment, which made it even more real. And yeah, it was heavy. But
You're not like that in real life.
No.
You're so friendly.
mm-mm. Yeah, it was tough. And I also have a daughter too, so I think, how old is Mattie roughly in the game?
She's between 7, 8, more or
Okay.
less.
I got a 12-year-old, so that that helped me a little bit, having that experience, with a kiddo. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that was like another thing that drew me to the character too, was having a daughter myself.
Totally. That was a very amazing scene, very intense. And if I remember right,
Thank you.
one of the recordings that we had also from Bonnie, that you actually slapped yourself for the sounds of the slapping. So that's how intense it was and how much they bring to the project, right? The reality of things and how it feels. Even for me, writing the scene and trying to recreate something, because we have like the whole story, right? It's like 180 pages, the whole story, and then I need to recreate everything and do the script and trying to think which will be good for gaming, because I also come from being studying movies and becoming a film director. So a script for movies is quite different from a script from games, as well as for the actors, right? Because you don't actually act, you don't see what's going on and what's going to happen, and they see the final product after we release everything most of the times. So yeah, the work that you do to portray this reality, it's really amazing. It's really amazing work for us.
We're trying.
Thank you. And also, can I add that thank you so much for making this such a collaborative experience. That's kind of rare when the leaders of a project, like, they're so open to change, and they're so receptive to what their actors want. So thank you so much for that.
And even criticism. You take criticism so
Yeah.
well, and you improved
Mhm.
this project immensely. And you're just so good at sorting out every single feedback that you receive, and you're constantly asking us, if there's anything that we want on our wish list, anything we want to see. And it's just so refreshing just to work with you because you're such a gem to work with.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so
the
much.
communication's been S tier.
Yeah, that's how I like it, and how we as a team like to do things, right? Because for me this is our little baby for everyone, right? So
Mhm.
everyone should add their small drop of blood into it to make
Yeah.
it better.
And if I need
Somehow.
any clarification or anything, or have questions, I pop it in, Diego's chat, and he answers everything. It's been nice.
Yeah, Diego's so great with communication. You answer us like, automatically like that. You're always updating us on just festival runs, conventions, every single thing, interviews. You're always telling us what's going on. It's just so amazing hearing everything. That's every step of the way.
That's great, and that's why it's great working with you and working with this project. But because this project is different, like we all said, right? It's about alien abductions, alien research, what's going on in the world, right? Everything that's happening right now, and that brings us to the next question: do you personally believe intelligent life exists somewhere else in the universe?
Yes, I do think that there is absolutely intelligent life in the universe. There's no way that in our vast cosmos, do you know how big our universe is? It's pretty big, and there's just no way that humans are the only intelligent life form. Like even if aliens don't look like us or talk like us, there's aliens out there, like 100%.
And Pony, I do think that with our interest in space and everything, I have looked some things up back in the day about just like a planet similar to ours being in this great Goldilocks zone and us sending out these like signals out to space. And why haven't we heard anything yet? And one of the theories was just that the gravitational force of this planet that's very similar to ours is just so immense that there's no way a rocket can shoot past just like the layer of around the Earth, around a similar planet to our Earth.
Interesting.
And but yeah, there might be that planet that just totally meets like the distance between the star and just being the perfect place of that Goldilocks zone. And I mean, who knows? Like maybe they can push through that gravitational pull. Maybe there's even
Maybe
more
they're
than that.
introverted.
And yeah, maybe introverted.
Maybe they just want to be left
Right.
alone.
And I can't remember what the quote was, but it was just like, if there is, if there's someone out there in space, that's scary in itself. And if there is no one out in space, that's scary in itself. So either way, it's really, the horror just really brings it out upon us. And that's interesting. And shout out to Neil deGrasse Tyson. You're amazing. Keep doing the good work. All these like astrophysicists and everybody. Thank you.
A lot of things to think about. What about Union? What do you think about it?
Oh, it's my turn, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. I will. I'll say that the Fermi paradox. If you're familiar with that, it states that the universe is so vast and there's so many stars and so many habitable planets that it is probabilistically impossible for there not to be intelligent life. So, and then even you take it a little bit further, there could be multiple parallel universes with life and all that too. You got to throw that in there as well. So
The question
Totally.
is, are they friendly? Sorry, go ahead.
No, of
Hey,
course.
we're friendly.
good
We're
question.
super friendly. Look at how we get along with
I mean,
everybody.
yeah,
look at
look how
us as human
we're knocking it out of the
civilization.
park.
I mean, if everyone's like us, just kidding.
Right.
This is why
yeah.
the answers or
totally.
the aliens
then
are
they would be
answering it.
introverted.
Yeah.
They may be, yeah, totally. That's why they're hiding, right? Or
Or
not.
their technology might not be advanced enough to receive or broadcast, signals.
We can do a whole show about that.
We could.
Yeah.
But I have one special question, because when we created the project, some of us had different situations or not encounters maybe, but just sightseeings or stuff that happen in our life, like paranormal stuff. So have you ever experienced something strange or unexplained in your own life? Something that you can think of?
Was Amy pointing at Pony?
Yes.
Are you trying to point at
Tony,
me?
you're supposed to go first.
I mean, bro, like, look, give me a second to think. Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay.
No worries.
Road.
So
We're sorry. We're adding this, right? We're sisters.
we're siblings.
We're
She's my
siblings.
daughter. My
We're siblings.
oh my god.
In another life.
This one-
Oh,
she gets
no,
it from her
no,
father.
you must be my daughter. Another. I don't know. I don't know. Another life. We
This is
are-
going on
Okay.
the edition, right?
Yeah.
So don't worry. We're not cutting this
Director's
one.
cut. Director's cut. No.
Okay, anyways, yes, to answer the question, yes, I've had several very strange and unexplained things that have happened in my life, but one of the weirdest stories that I cannot, like, there's no explanation for, like, I can't figure out an explanation, is a very long time ago, maybe not that long ago. I was alone in my apartment. My roommate was at work, and I know he was at work because we worked at the same place, and he was on the schedule. And I know that I was alone in the apartment. The door was locked. I was reading a demonology book, a very old and very famous demonology book, and it was just for research. I was just reading quietly, silently in my head. And so any weird stuff that ensued, that's not my fault. I was just reading it. And I'm just so absorbed into my book, and then all of a sudden, I feel the sensation of like someone pushing my chair forward, and then I look around and there's no one there. And like my chair was made of metal. It's very heavy, and there's no way it could have, like, the sensation, it was just being shoved out of my chair is just
Dang.
there's no way it could have, it's not an earthquake, it's not like a loose floorboard. I don't know what happened. It just freaked me out. I closed the book. I flipped out. I called a friend. I left the apartment. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. This is very scary. And eventually I'm sorry.
Burn the book.
Burned the book? No.
No, I did not actually. Maybe I should have. But I saged the apartment. I calmed down, and like about a week later, I found out that my upstairs, I had lived on the second floor, and my upstairs neighbors, they had been complaining about a really bad smell in one of the apartments, and all of the vents are like they're connected, like by floor, not vertically, but just by the same floor. They're all connected. So they were complaining that something smelled really awful and it was coming from a certain apartment. And one of my neighbors had died. And like I don't know. I feel like maybe my upstairs neighbor, he had passed away and saw me reading a demonology book, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm like, can you let someone know that I died, please?" Like I feel like that's what might have happened, but it's hard to say. I don't know.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was scary.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That's one story. What about you guys?
For me, I don't think it's anything that dramatic. That's intense, Pony.
Yeah, it was scary.
I also had a neighbor that passed away. I didn't know. Nothing out of the supernatural happened, out of the ordinary, I think. This was during COVID. And it was a devastating time when our neighbor passed away. But something that's a little bit more supernatural, to answer your question. I remember Pony and I remember when we were in middle school, and then we traveled to Laos and Thailand, and then we were at a hotel in Thailand, and our parents were in one bed, Pony and I were in another, and we were just in this room. And in the middle of the night, as I was sleeping, I heard this like loud crash, and and then I peeked over, and right above the mini fridge, I saw two huge green glowing orbs. To this, like, I'm a huge skeptic, guys. Like, I'm very, even to this day, I'm still a really big skeptic. I I have to really see something to believe it. But that was like so odd and so weird. It was like the size of just like a melon, a cantaloupe, and it was just hovering and glowing, and it was just green. There were just two of them next to each other above the mini fridge, just floating like that. And I was so sweaty. I was so hot. I was wide awake, guys. I was terrified. And then I pulled my blanket up and covered my head. I was just sweating. I don't know how long it was. I don't know if it was an hour. I was just sweating under the blanket, terrified out of my life. And then in the morning, I went over and I told my mom, I was like, hey, something weird really happened. And she's like, oh, it's nothing. Because you know how Asian parents are sometimes? They don't, like, they're like, who cares? Yeah, they're like, it's nothing. To this day, I have no idea what it was, but I looked it up. I Googled it. I was like, are they ghost orbs? But I looked up ghost orbs and they're all different colors. None of them are green. So I'm just so confused.
It was an alien.
I don't know, Pony, but I don't even know what I saw. I'm like, to this day, I'm like, I'm a dumb kid. I don't know, but it was so real though. And I remember how sweaty I was. I felt it in my armpits. I felt it everywhere, how hot I was. And I couldn't sleep for a long time. And it was just, I know they were there, but I don't know what it was.
Was it?
And yeah.
Was it like giving off light to where it was illuminating the environment around
Yeah, it was
it?
glowing. Yeah, it was glowing, but not too much, but just like enough for me to see it. I'd see them, both of them. So I don't know if it's like the same thing.
Were they
but just
interacting
two.
with each other?
Yeah, they were kind of just like hovering next to each other as if like, you know, in proximity, as if they were used to each other or something. It was weird. I don't know what the heck it was.
Wow.
Yeah,
How'd you get back to sleep?
Yeah, I don't know. I just like kind of like pushed myself to fall asleep, I guess. It took a long, long time. And I remember that. But I wouldn't believe myself. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stories out there with people seeing ghost orbs. It's a thing. So maybe it was ghost orbs.
I don't know what it is. So if anyone out there can tell me.
I don't see why it can't be green. I mean,
yeah, and you said it was Thailand where you were at?
Yeah, it was Thailand.
Yeah,
was it Bangkok? Was it Bangkok, Pony? I think.
Yeah, the only city when we were kids we went to was Bangkok.
Nice. Yeah, Thailand has a lot of stories out there.
If I were an orb, green would be okay.
Yeah,
green's a great color to be if you're an orb.
Right.
Have to think about it. When we became orbs.
I'll be a pink orb. Yeah, I'll be the pink orb, you guys. I'll meet you in the afterlife. Okay.
I'll be blue. I stole that favorite color from Pony when we were little.
You did. What you're a brag. You're a bully. I can't believe you. And my new favorite color, green, is my background. And your new favorite,
Pony. Maybe that was revenge from the ghost. The ghost was like, "Oh, so so you're blue. I'm gonna be green. Pony's favorite color."
That's exactly what happened, and that's why I came out to scare you.
Maybe it was karma for me.
It was
your favorite color when we were kids.
I want to hear Neon. Before we derail the interview too much, have you ever had a unexplained event?
Yeah, I do. It's a long time ago. I was a kid. It was very vivid though. I was at my old house, lived with my parents. I was probably like, I don't know, like maybe 10. And it was night. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom, so we would have like our cousins over, and she'd always watch like a bunch of kids, myself and my siblings and cousins and stuff. Anyway, yeah, we were in the front yard, and it was pitch black out, and the skies the sky was clear. And then we look up, and there's this like craft, super far away. It was probably like that big in the sky. And it was like kind of moving, not like a plane, didn't look like a plane or anything, but it was close enough to where it like stopped, and then like this hatch like opened up, and just saw like the tiniest little figures chilling within the open doorway, and then it just went away. It was super strange.
Can I ask? Like, where was that? Where did that happen?
Michigan.
Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of any sightings in. That's wild.
Sort of like north of Flint, like about half hour, 45 minutes north of Flint. Yeah.
Was it like
scary?
The farm side countryside?
It
Or
was
more
country,
like-
but we didn't live on a farm, but there were farms everywhere in that area. Yeah, it was very rural.
Okay. Yeah, because it's known that they are used to rural parts more. That's why they
Mhm.
used to appear on near farms or near the mountains or
Yeah.
that, or near the woods. That's
My class was I was like one of 100 kids in my class, and the town was super small, like one stoplight town sort of deal.
amazing.
Spooky.
A lot of
I
spooky.
just have no idea what it was.
Well,
Do you have
maybe
a
it was
story,
great.
Diego?
I actually
Oh.
wanted to ask too. We want to know. We want to hear.
Yeah, I had a stories. I actually told the two stories that I had in one of the interviews that we had before. Basically, that's why I became like huge on the alien theme. Basically, right? Because when I was young, like 10 years old, there was one Christmas. We used to like live with my mother, and we used to rent a lot, so we move a lot different houses. So we moved to one of the houses that was behind one of my mother's friend's house, right? So on Christmas, I was spending time with them, and they had a daughter that went with me to school, and little brothers and all of that. So we were sitting like on top of a car, an old car that was just parking there, just watching the sky, right? Just because it was Christmas, it was night, like 10 or 11 p.m. Because here in Argentina we stay up very late usually, even on Christmas. And then all of a sudden we saw like these orbs of light, just one big one that was moving like in circles, right? And it stayed moving in circles, like, I don't know, for us it was like 10 minutes, maybe it was just 1 minute. But this was like in the 90s. We didn't heard much. It's not like this huge situation right now that everyone talks about aliens, right? Back then it was, I don't know, 96 maybe, some of that. Um, I was not even watching X Files at the moment, so watching that orb or thing or light was very strange, because I was not the only one seeing that. Right, everyone was seeing that, and then all of a sudden it just vanished very quick. It was a very quick situation. Uh, so that was one of the biggest ones for me. And then another one, it was on broad daylight, maybe when I was 20, that I saw something like just passing in the sky. And there was no clouds at all, and it was just passing right away. So was really, really, really weird, because it didn't look like a plane or something, or a meteorite or something else. But yeah, that was my side on how everything became like that.
Well, since you guys have orb story, I actually do have my own orb story. If you're finished with your story, that is.
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
So my buddy that I used to work with years ago, he sent me a video of something that he captured, because he got a new camera. This was probably like 20 years ago. And he got a new camera, and he was like messing around with it during the daytime in his basement. And, he had light coming through the windows, and he had lights on it, so it was fully lit and everything. And he was just messing with it. And then all of a sudden, a like gray orb, probably the size of like a softball, was just like chilling in the air, just hovering. And he had the camera fixated on it. And then it just went through the wall. And then when I looked at it, I'm like, okay, well, this is probably fake, right? So I put it in my, the old Photoshop, and or a program that was similar to Photoshop, and I slowed it down frame by frame, and then it actually like cast a shadow on the wall as it went through the wall. So it just doesn't seem like it was fabricated, It was strange.
Wild. I would mark that down as evidence in Phasmo.
I really like that you did your own detective work.
Yeah.
And then you did enhance.
Yes.
Yeah, frame by frame, and then the
Yeah.
shadow went up the wall as it got closer to the wall, and then through the wall. It was crazy.
There's weird stuff out there.
Crazy, yeah. Yeah, I had about another story, a quick one. On one of the houses, I used to live like 20 meters from a cemetery. And we had it was just these big stairs, and it landed just directly in front of my bedroom, and my bedroom had no door, right? So when I was sleeping, my head was just aiming directly at the stairs in the dark. So it was not the nicest way to sleep. But I was feeling something. I have certain feelings, and etc. We can talk about it later, but I felt that there was something out there. So I started taking pictures back when we had the digital cameras, right? And there were a lot of orbs showing up on the screens, on the pictures, right? I was not able to keep them because my camera broke, but I saw a lot of them. And like maybe 1 or 2 weeks later, one of my aunts stayed at my home, and she wanted to go to the bathroom, and she forgot that the stairs were there, and she just fell. She broke her leg falling down there. But
Ooh.
it was weird because she never had that need before, right? It was not something that she will used to do. It was like just feeling asleep, and she had like that need to go to the bathroom. That it was upstairs. She knew it was upstairs, but somehow something drove her to the stairs. Um, so yeah, I think there was something had to do with that. But as any story, it's your choice to believe. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that totally happened. Well, we're just yeah. Tell me.
I was just gonna say, do you think it was did it feel like an evil entity that guided her to the stairs or something like that?
Yeah, there's been a lot of weird things there. I think that there was not just one entity running around. I felt that when I was alone in the house, I just felt the chill and all of that. I used to be very close to these energies and understanding and feeling things, and very sensitive to how things feel around, right? I was not
Mhm.
able to see aura on people, but I was able to feel the energy, as I'm able to feel the energy usually, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, it was heavy. When you feel that the air is heavy, that there's
Yeah,
something like a burden on your back, something like that. It felt like that a lot. Yeah, totally.
I understand that.
All right. Well, we're just arriving to the last of the questions. And this is just without any spoilers, and just to do it quick. Uh, what are you most excited about? What's coming next? On Who Are You that you want our players to experience?
I'm personally excited to explore the dynamics between Mattie and Ray and Amanda, like all of us together. That's going to be exciting. Uncovering our histories and and experiencing all of the supernatural weirdness. Well, would you consider alien stuff supernatural? I mean, like I think that maybe right now it would be considered that. I don't know. And I'm also very interested in seeing the choices that the players are going to be making. So I'm definitely going to be tuning into some streams.
So I'm excited about just more of the scares and horror, and just bringing that metaphor of claustrophobia out into whatever it may be, story wise, environment wise, um, whatever the gameplay may be. But I like evoking that sense of just like dread, especially when it comes to just like those that are abducted, and how like you feel trapped. And it's just also how Ray feels trapped in the mind. And it's just, there's so much of that theme of just feeling like you can't get out. And no matter what you do, you're just in whatever place you're in. So I can't wait for that frightening moment when the player realizes you can't escape.
Nope, you can't escape from yourself.
This is such a guy answer, but
I want to hear this.
I don't know if this is gonna happen or not. But I would look forward to something like Ray getting on the alien ship and having a tussle with the aliens, crashing their ship and getting
That was such a
revenge.
man answer. That was so good.
I like it.
I love it. Can we have that in one of the episodes? Can we fight that?
Will you fight hand by hand where you use a weapon?
Yeah.
That would
How
be
will
part of
Ray
the
react?
character development where, Ray and Amanda
It's a
and
combat game now.
and even Mattie, they become super proficient with any weapon, and we just take them out.
Can we summon like a Shaolin monk and suddenly Ray trains
There-
under?
yeah.
Why not?
There you go. We can get
There's
Pony's
more.
Book of the Dead and summon our own stuff. And
Not the evil book that I did not
Cross-genre,
burn, even though I probably should have.
Yeah, actually, I want to see that one. Now I want to read
Oh.
it. But yeah, that's my curiosity.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That was great, and thank you everyone
course.
for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
You are amazing, as I always tell you. But I think,
You are.
oh, thank you. But yeah, the idea is for our players to get to know you, because this is a lot of work that you've been doing, creating something narrative like this game, and how this will develop. It will increase, because at first you will see the story of the family, then it will increase on the action that you will see there, how Ray reacts, how the family reacts to everything that's going on. So you will see a lot as players. You will see a lot, as they say. You have 3 endings here, so you'll have to choose, and you will have to decide by yourself what's going on. And that's why we have these amazing voice actresses and our great voice actor to carry this and actually create something amazing. But yeah, anything else that you want to add, or any message that you want to give to our players before we finish this?
All the hearts and all the thank yous. You guys have been so great and supportive, and all the positive and all the negative too. Thank you for anyone that plays. It helps us grow. It helps us be better. And we want to be better for you. And we're always trying to improve. So we're only going to go up top from here. So no matter what, that's what we're doing. Thank you, everyone.
Constructive feedback is great.
It helps.
Because
It really
like Pony
does.
said, we're super new to this, and we're
all of
really
us.
trying to do really well.
Thank
I
you.
also want to chime in on that message and say that the Haunting Humans team, you guys have improved by leaps and bounds. It's like the first iteration of the game is so different from what it is now, and I see the growth, and I'm very proud.
Thank you for
I remember the original, and you compare it to what it is now, and yeah, massive improvements.
Thank you. I think everyone learned. So this is how we ended here. But yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Perfect. Thank you.
Just thanks for the
Play our
feedback,
game. Play
and,
all of the games.
being interested
And
in
thank you.
And leave
what you do.
reviews.
And
Leave
reviews.
Thank you everyone. Thank you for being here. Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Bye. Thank you.